Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gaming Spot Championship Series podcast. Here I have with me Team Lunar Team Captain and longtime league veteran and former commissioner, Ft.Brody-Bonez.
What's up?
Yeah, we have a lot of interesting things on the podcast that we can talk about today. But yeah, Taysom isn't going to be on the podcast for a few weeks. Unfortunately, he suffered an ACL tear on the football field about 2-3 days ago. So we send him our best wishes and hope he gets better and recovers in due time. But I think we had two scrimmages happen tonight. I know in the NULS we had Blizzard. In the NULS, our league that's partnered with the GSCS, we had Blizzard Esports versus Team Satronics versus Team Crisis. And this is a team that Blizzard Esports has beaten 2 times before. They end up coming out with a swift win this time. The last time that they played them, Not Solo had a heroic double tap, got them in a prime position to win the game, and that is exactly what they did. Blizzard Esports rally back in their season in the NULS, but in the GSCS, the Blizzard Esports upper roster ends up playing Satronics upper roster, which is filled up with GC2s, and I think about a GC1 as well. Blizzard Esports A team, which ended up picking up Caesar and trying out a few more people there. Because of one of their players that is currently in an outage, they had to find someone off of the 6-man server that is also trying out with them in that scrimmage against Satronics. Blizzard Esports Blizzard Esports A team end up losing that scrimmage 3-1 to Team Satronics, higher roster as well. Satronics, their team is a fairly new team. They are 5-2 in scrimmages, and the only losses that they have, I believe, are sweeps against them with their own roster. But Brody, have you seen this Satronics team play?
I've seen a few clips of them, and from what I'm seeing, they look like a very challenging team coming up in this season that's about to start here in February. They're definitely a team to be looking out for, and definitely don't get your hopes up about beating them.
Yeah, at the beginning, I know Taysom. I feel like only the OGs, because we have a lot of new members. And thank you so much, by the way. Thank you so much for 50 subscribers on the league channel and 130 members in the Discord. Thank you so much. Everything, you guys have been a blessing supporting us and everything like that. But Team Satronics, in the beginning, they got 3-1 by Blizzard Esports on the main stream. And Taysom automatically just said, okay, this is another North American gaming type team. And the people that have been in the league for the long time know like a little North American gaming meme that people like to run, where it's like North American gaming were like at the time the worst team out there. Like they only won, I think, 1 series, and that was in the preseason of season 4 against Pyro Esports. But now they come back, completely changed. Their team name is InSync now. And somehow, they transformed themselves from, like, Plat 3s, Diamond 1s, into, like, a high GC2, a GC1 C3, and then another GC1. That happens in a course of a few months, and North American game, this InSync team, Taysom had them at number 1. But that North American gaming roster that people keep, like, memeing about and talking about, if you hear that reference, that means that, like, that is, like, not a very successful roster. But Taysom wrote Satronics off immediately, and it came back to nip him in the butt, apparently, because they are now the number 3 standing team in terms of show matches so far this past week 1 off season. But yeah, so that's it for Satronics. They have the opportunity to come up and really show that they're still that high team. But Naptown United, they have completely rebranded their rosters into the GSCS. I believe they have 2 rosters now. Naptown United, okay, there's Naptown Saturn, which features a roster with Pink, Rex, and Cho. So they have Rex and Cho, and so they split. Okay, so what happens is a few days ago, as you remember, if you listened to yesterday's video, Shadow, the star player for Naptown United, ended up getting traded over to, or actually not traded, ended up leaving for Team Satronics, and that turned a lot of heads. That roster change right there, because Shadow was the person trust for to really make things happen for the Snaptown United squad. Then he ended up leaving for Satronics. So now they come in with two rosters. I know Naptown United Phoenix is the one that plays in the NULS. They split Pink and Kovu up, and they moved Kovu down to the Naptown Phoenix squad, and then they moved Pink to the Saturn squad. But Naptown Phoenix has Frosty, Kovu, and Ilu, or I think his name is Illumination. But Naptown squad, they're really trying to get as much success as possible in this league, like they've been trying to do in the GSCS as well. But Brody, I think it's time to do something. I think it's time to go start talking about your team vest for a little moment.
All right.
Whoever does not remember me talking about Team Lunar in like the last 10 podcasts, it's like me praying to God that we can get Team Lunar back in the league. And what happens? We end up getting Team Lunar back in the league, and hopefully they can start off their scrimmages pretty pumped up because this Team Lunar squad still features I believe a fairly similar roster. Have you made any updates to your roster, Brody?
Most players, I've kept some players on my team. However, I have added a lot as well, and most players that I used to have are now either subs or are unavailable to play at this moment. I have one out for baseball, and two are substitutes at this moment, and me personally, I'm also out, so we're having some issues with our players right now, but we're hoping to get on the field and ready to play pretty soon. We're trying to get my bracket as of now that we have at this point. We're trying to get them some scrimmages, get them some competitive gameplay in, because the roster I had before that's out at this point, they're the ones that did all the tournaments and everything. So all in all, my team, I do have a lot of what's the word? What's the word? I can't think of the word. Okay. I can't think. I had a concussion recently and I can't think straight. But basically I do think my team will do good is basically the way I can put it right now. I know they will do good, and they all have chemistry with each other. It's just the roster at this point hasn't really had, I don't know how they'll do under pressure in a league like this, because they're all very confident, they all have good chemistry, but I'm not sure how things will go down whenever, say it's like a best of 7 and it comes to a 3-3 and there's one more game left, you know.
Yeah.
But they all know how each other play. They all know their own play styles. They all know what each other are good at, what each other are bad at. They all know what helps them get better. So I actually think this league, not only is it going to be fun, not only is it going to be challenging for my team, but it is also going to make them better. And I think we're coming back to make our title great again.
Yeah, the former Ice Gaming team, Ice Gaming, probably, besides from maybe Muffin Boys and Pro Advancing Hero Squad and Dynasty, probably the most used name when it comes to history in the league. Because of the success Ice Gaming had, they had the infamous reverse sweep against, at the time, the number one ranked team in the country in Dynasty at the time, and then as well as they had started doing phenomenal against teams that at the time were higher ranked than them, as in Justice Esports. And then they had Dynasty. They did good against Dynasty, and then Blaze, and then InSync, Pyro, Tiggs, a few other of these teams scattered here and there. But they had a good history in the league, and I'm really excited to see them try and come back, reclaim their name back, and it's gonna be exciting to see. But let's jump over to a Distinct Divinity. Have you seen
I just got done watching one of the streams with them in it, and right now, I'm gonna be honest, I definitely feel like they're probably the #1 team to be looking out for right now, if you ask me.
Yeah, I know Tonic, Taysom, and Brovanik have them in the top 2 in their list. And the overall standings will not be updated until March the 6th. So this is gonna be a little while until we can really see official standings on Distinct Divinity. Distinct Divinity and one of their players, Caesar, which I talked about yesterday, ends up leaving Distinct Divinity. He ends up trying out with a few teams. I know he tried out with Satronics. He talked with Annihilation. He talked with a few other of those teams. There was some internal issues going on for him to make that, but Brody, didn't you guys end up like trying out Caesar?
Yes, and Caesar, he's a very good player. I personally couldn't play with him, obviously, because I have controller issues, but I had my team scrim with him, and they all seemed to like him. They claimed to be. They had a lot of fun, and he seemed to be a very good player, very good mechanically, and the only reason we didn't take him in is because most of my players, 3 out of our 7, said no. We already have too many people, which is understandable. We have 7 players,
yeah.
But they all said too many people, you know. So I was like, I understand. Like we can. I mean, he probably has a good future somewhere else, anyways, because it's hard to fit in 8 people.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Right. But he is a very good player, and I do think from what I heard, I think he definitely has a future in this league if he decides to stay in it.
Yeah. So he actually ended up going to a team, and I know he had talked with. I think he might have talked with Dropshot's owner. He might have talked with Lucid. I think Lucid might have reached out to him. I think AEG might have reached out to him. Blizzard Esports, I know, couldn't get him on the team because as well as they have 7 players on their team. But the Blizzard Esports upper roster ended up reaching out to him, and they played in a scrimmage, and a few things. Long story short, the Blizzard Esports A team somehow has Caesar on their starting roster for this upcoming season. And that's coming straight after he decided to leave from Distinct Divinity. So right when he left, literally seconds after he announced his release, Koala Bear gets picked up immediately, and I mean, at the time, of course, Caesar's like the hottest free agent in the league at the moment. Koala Bear was really he was on Annihilation, and I guess he had a wake-up call or something. I talked about it in the podcast that we featured yesterday, but he ended up leaving Annihilation for Distinct Divinity to contend for that #1 spot. But a few weeks ago, not a few weeks ago, a few days ago, I had told Taysom and Tonic in the podcast, the top 4, fighting for the top 4 is so hard now because you have like 8 contending teams. You have Blizzard Esports, you have InSync, you have Team Lunar, you have Satronics, you have Naptown United, you have Slaughter Esports, Distinct Divinity, Blizzard Esports A-Team, Dropshot Esports, Alpha Elite Gaming, Lucid Esports, and Team Annihilation. I think I named like 12 teams that are competing for top 4 and that are all beating each other at the same rate consistently. This is about like the days of the junior ROCS and the BACS having a Plat go up against the Grand Champ 3 are over. This is the closest and the tightest that this league has quite ever been since before the Muffin Boys had came into this league. So this is crazy. I think a lot of people are saying actually Distinct Divinity have even a higher chance than both Blizzard and InSync of taking that number 1 spot. Oh, wait, did I mention Team Lunar? I believe I mentioned Team Lunar as well. But Distinct Divinity, they have a super high chance at getting that number 1 spot. They got swept by Blizzard Esports though. But this new team with the Koala Bear is going to be super threatening because Koala Bear actually faced your team, actually, Brody. They faced Ice Gaming, or at the time called Team Lunar, back in May. You guys ended up winning in a Game 7 against them.
I actually do remember that.
And it was against the at the time they were called the Cobras. I had mentioned that in the podcast that had gotten released today. Okay, I know a lot has changed from now since May, especially with the because you just said that they, even without Caesar, had a good chance of getting into the number 1 spot, right?
Yeah.
So I was talking with a few people this morning, and I know I was talking with a few people around the league that has a little bit more information about some of these roster changes and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, what do you guys think of Koala Bear? And one of them said he's good, he's got mechanics, but he's a bit inconsistent. At times you can potentially see that, like the time that they played, that Annihilation played against Satronics. You can see a little bit of that, but he was kind of carrying that Annihilation team into contention because of Koala Bear stepping up. But now with Koala Bear joining Cypher and Devos, that is going to be the scariest team I think I've ever seen. Brody, how did, like, I know you experienced playing Koala Bear. How do you think he played around the time that you played him a few months back?
From my faint memory, I remember I was very competitive against him, and I remember I used to always be like, oh, we're gonna beat him, and we ended up going against his team, and they were, like I said, you can't underestimate a team, because we ended up going into a best of 7, and Koala Bear has always, I feel like me and him have always been very closely matched up. Like, me and him have always been pretty much the same way. Every single game I noticed him, whenever like we played each other, I noticed him, and I was like, man, this guy's good. And seeing him play now, it's like man, he's improved a lot, and I see a lot of myself in him, and I'm just like, I feel like he's improved a lot, and I think he's going places for sure.
All right, before we go, I have a question for you. I don't know. That's gonna be an interesting question. Out of any team in the league, which team do you think you're going to have the biggest potential of having a rivalry with the most?
Oh man, you know me, I love having me some rivalries.
Yeah.
Man.
That's a hard question.
Yeah, I don't know.
It just popped up. I'm like, oh hey, this might be a good person for the podcast.
See, I feel like me and Satronics right now, I feel like we're on like good terms. I don't think, as of now, I don't think we're gonna be like super big rivalries. However, I do think that they're going to be a big challenge, but probably, honestly, I feel like in the future, I feel like either Distinct Divinity or Team Annihilation are probably going to be my rivals. I'm not completely sure yet, but I feel like those two are in my range right now.
I know once we get into the divisions and we have the top 16 teams after the qualifiers, and they're gonna be two divisions, right? They're gonna be the 8 teams here, 8 teams there. Wouldn't it be so crazy to have all these are gonna be randomly placed? But wouldn't it be so crazy to have Blizzard Esports, NSYNC, Lunar, Satronics, Divinity, Naptown, Slaughter, and Annihilation in the same division?
That would be.
That would be, bro,
mayhem, man. That would be insane.
By the end of the season, everyone's coming out with an 8-8 record. No one's having a winning record because that's going to be the most closely matched ever. I'm super impressed with what I'm seeing with Slaughter Esports. I know Brody might have to take his time going to study a few gameplay here and there of some of these teams with the VODs that we do have. This was a great podcast with you, Brody. I very much enjoyed as well as Taysom. It's very enjoyable when I don't have Taysom disagreeing with me about everything at every moment. But yeah, thank you for coming on the podcast, helping out. Hopefully we can have you much more on the podcast in the future. And I hope to see your team play well in the future. We have Team Lunar back, and hopefully we can see them thrive with their roster. And
yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
But right before we go, just before we go, everyone put it into your heads that we have a potential for this is already going to be confirmed the closest season in GSCS history. GSCS, BSCS, Junior LCS, I don't care what you call it. This will be the closest season. But if we put these teams in the random generator and we get all of these top 8 teams, and they're 12 teams, they're like 10 teams, 11 teams competing for a top 4 spot. How crazy is that? That's unbelievable. Hopefully we're going to see this a lot more in the future. And hopefully we can get you and influence you to subscribe to the channel. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to the channel. And come into the Discord. We are so close to hitting 135, even to 150 members, hopefully in the near future. One of our mods actually said that we had so much success on gaining subscribers on our YouTube that he said he wants to aim for 100 members in the Discord by before the season starts for the Gaming Spot Championship Series. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It's my 3rd time saying that, and I guess it's time to say goodbye.